pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for braving the storm. Tonight, we'll accept public comment to receive oral communication from members of the public. Members of the public may address the select board for up to 3 minutes. The select board shall not engage in discussion on topics raised during public comment, but may choose to add the topic to a future agenda. This agenda segment will be limited to a total of 15 minutes. Would anyone like to make public comment?
Come on, everybody.
Okay. Board and committee reports, I believe we don't have any. Grants, Gibson,
The only report is that we went to the DCC last week.
we'll cover that at meeting updates.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for bringing it up.
And you can mention this too.
Yes.
Grants, gifts, and donations. There was an emergency management performance grant of $2,700 to the police department. In your package was a nice letter from Chief Fisher. Chief Fisher, would you like to explain the details?
Certainly. So I've written this grant to cover 2 radios that will cover our communication center and then our EOC for where we do our MEMA drills, and in case there's anything at Seabrook is where that is. So right now, the radios that we function out of are only function on analog radio. They don't function on digital. Our frequency is analog, but a lot of surrounding towns are changing to digital. So for example, we can no longer transmit here or transmit with Rowley Police Department because they're on digital and we're only on analog. These 2 radios would allow our communication center and our EOC to have radios that can hear and transmit on both analog and digital, so that we'll be back to that communication with surrounding towns, so that we can get emergency aid really quickly when we need to, and we can hear when we're needed as well, so. And it would eventually take it out of capital planning as well.
Awesome. Any questions?
No question, but it's incredibly amazing that it's still analog and not digital, with the fact that we're in, 2024.
So from a police radio point of view, there's pros and cons to being analog and pros and cons to being digital. One of my fears for us turning digital is, well, number one, it's a huge infrastructure change. It would be incredibly expensive because we need to change our transmitter and things like that. But also, we have dead areas in town where the radios don't work. So right now, if I key my analog mic and I'm in a dead area, dispatch at least hears crunchy radio and sees what my ID number is on the radio. So they can send somebody to where I'm at. On digital radio, you hear nothing when they key the mic if you're in a no service zone. So we haven't done enough research to see how digital radios would work in our community. Like on Plum Island, if we have a low ceiling, there's certain spots where we don't have clear radio communication. It comes in broken, but digital, it wouldn't work unless there was a strong signal from the tower.
As if working in the same way that cell phones are working, that, you fall into the dead zone. So that could be one of the reasons that, the planning board is working to revise the
Towers and repeaters and stuff, yeah.
yeah.
So we have our own repeater for it.
Kind of wandering off the topic of accepting the grant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
I appreciate the questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a quick question. The 2,700, is that gonna cover the whole package or?
Yeah.
So we're not gonna need any additional money for this later on?
Nope, that covers the labor to install the 2 radios in both the EOC and in dispatch and the cost of everything.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Can I have a motion to accept that grant?
Motion to accept.
second.
Now, any discussion? None. All in favor? Aye.
Thank you
Opposed?
very much.
Any opposed? Thank you for getting the grant.
Thank you.
Second grant, Fiscal year '24 firefighter safety equipment grant award, $15,500 to the fire department. Chief Evans.
Yes, sir.
Explain some
Absolutely.
details?
So one of the first things that we did when I took over in November is go through all of our equipment and our gear. And we went through and I noticed that we had a large number of gear that is either approaching the 10-year NFPA number or are even older than the 10-year NFPA. I have two members that are in gear that is 2009. So what we did is, we did this in two phases. We actually put together something for capital, and then we put in with the Department of Fire Service Safety Equipment Grant, and we were able to get the 15,005 for 3 to 4 sets right now. And we would have to spend that money before the end of June. And we've done our homework. We've had different companies already come in. We've had them do the dog and pony show to, this is the pant, this is the jacket, this is the hood, we've gone through the pricing. So we have a couple of different bids on them already as well, so. So it's a safety thing for me, as I've always said.
Ah, perfect.
Perfect.
Can I have a motion to accept the grant?
Motion to accept the grant.
Second.
Any discussion?
Chief, while we have you here, I just want to clear the air on a few things
Sure.
that are flopping around the town, let's just say.
Sure.
Because I have great admiration for your integrity. There have been questions that have been coming up about bringing in your spouse and your brother onto the department. And I do understand why that is happening. I just want everybody else to understand so that the rumor mill
Absolutely.
gets shut down.
Sure. So what I've done is I've hired 8 brand-new call/per diem firefighters over the last 3 months. And the fact that I had other people come to me and say, hey, we'd really like to see these 2 people on the department. Actually, the 2 of the captains from Byfield actually came to me and I said, you need to do the homework on these 2 people. I don't want to be involved. And when they did everything for those 2 people, which together they have over 50 years of firefighting experience, both of them are pro board firefighter 1, 2. They've both been doing EMS for, almost 20 years. To me, they add so much to the department. That's where that went in. I did everything that I was supposed to for the state of Massachusetts. The moment that the deputy and the captains came to me and said, we'd really like to hire these people, I filed the documentation that was necessary with the state for the ethics and conflict of interest immediately. So, they are.
I think those are the copies that.
If you talk to anybody that's been working with them, they have been very happy with the both of them.
And like I said, I understand that you went through all the right channels and you did it all the right way.
Sure.
However, I want everybody to understand the
Understood.
same thing, that,
Understood.
the same thing. The second thing is there, and the rumor mills can be just like crazy. The second one is that the Byfield Fire Station is going to close. And
I find that one more humorous than the other one. One, it's the nicer of the 2 stations. I'm there, if you come into my office, you'll see that I'm there on a regular basis. I stop most of my days in the Byfield station. I have people there every morning. They weren't there one day when someone came in for a burn permit, but they were, they've been around. They were there today, 8 to 11 this morning. We had a call on the highway. The ambulance from the Byfield station actually responded to the highway before I got out the door. Saturday, Bill showed up at the Byfield station and we were doing a pretty intense training. I mean, we do all of our practical training at the Byfield station. I don't know where that room is coming from. But I'll be honest, I saw a sign on the door the other day that has been there since pre-COVID that lets the public know if there's not somebody in the building, please call 911, here's the address that you're at.
yeah.
I mean, I can take that down, I just don't think that serves the purpose. I think that tells the person if they pull up and they're out on a call, or we're not in that station on that moment,
Yeah.
that they can actually call, I'm at 44 Central Street, 911, they understand that.
And again, this is just to put everybody at ease as far as,
Understood.
I just wanna nip all this stuff.
I'll tell you one thing, it is freezing in that building. I go in there every morning and it's 58 degrees in my office, so I have, Chief Cameron showed me how to turn the heat up, so.
Thanks.
I'm there.
I don't recommend
I am there.
portable electric heaters.
No, I don't recommend it. But, as I said to, Tracy, I'm there on a regular basis. You may not see the cruiser because I do what Chief Jandra did, I back it in the back spot inside the building.
You're gonna get the Byfield guy saying we don't need heat.
I know, they let me say that to me once or twice, but anyway,
Let's get back to the agenda.
yeah, so.
Is there any discussion about this grant? Hearing
I
none,
think it's great.
Yeah.
hearing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Thanks for answering the question.
You bet, you bet.
I'm gonna lump the three Council on Aging donations together. There was a donation from Alba Goldthorpe for $10, Ann W. Tucker for $100, and a generous donation from the Newburyport Lodge of Elks for $2,000. Can I have a motion to accept those
To
donations?
accept.
Second.
Any discussion?
The discussion would be, I really appreciate and recognize people that are still donating money, big and small, to the Council on Aging. I think it's fabulous.
And I will say that being a member of the Elks, that they have always been generous in so many ways. And I was pleased to see this very generous donation made to the COA from the Elks. So, thank you very much.
Rest assured Cindy will send a thank you note to them. So can I have a motion? Did I ask that already?
Yep,
We had discussion, right? Did I make a motion?
yep.
Did we have a
You're all
motion to do
good.
it?
Yep.
Try it again. A motion to accept those three grants.
You want me to make it?
Sure.
A motion to accept the 3 grants as stated.
I have a second.
Second.
I think we just had the discussion. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? None. No public hearing. New business. We have a request for public property use. Town and Country Half Marathon, Riverwalk IPA, 5K races, UCAN Sports LLC. And the dates are there, 3 separate dates. Is anyone here? So you must be.
I'm Rich.
Rich. Good, I'm glad I just read it, because I was wondering which one was the half marathon, and which ones were the 5K, which dates?
Should I
Sure.
jump up? So we do a 5K and a half marathon on those 3 dates. Both races happen at the same time.
Oh, okay,
So the half marathon starts at 9 o'clock, and then 15 minutes later, the 5K race starts. And they both finish on the same road, so there's one steady stream of runners heading back into Newburyport. Both races start and finish in Newburyport.
thank you for.
We've been doing them, I think we started in 2016, on the same routes, but I'm happy to answer any questions that anybody has.
You must, you must have heard for 8 years not to put any permanent markers on the road,
Yes, absolutely.
just checking.
Motion to accept.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Dana?
Discussion.
You know all the rules, and I guess you've had little problems before, so thank you, and hope it goes well.
Thanks so much, appreciate it.
What's the big rule? No painting on the
No
road?
painting on the roads, but we've gotten by already, so, we can.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Congratulations, Rich.
Thank you, appreciate the help.
Thanks for coming.
I'm glad it wasn't snowing.
Okay, old business, none. Town administrator report.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. I wanted to start out today giving a little bit of a budget discussion. We met with the Finance Committee a week or so ago. And things this time of year change very quickly. We're receiving numbers from the state, we're getting more defined information on insurances, we're still currently negotiating contracts. So right now, unfortunately, we find ourselves in a little bit of a perfect storm.
police, fire, and library are all negotiating collective bargaining agreements, and to date, we have not been able to come to terms. I'm hopeful that we will in advance of the town meeting, but as of right now, we have not. Health insurance numbers are up around 7%, which is pretty significant. In the past, we have implemented some plan design changes in terms of higher co-pays and things along those lines. We've gone out to bid to see what we could get in the marketplace, to see if other vendors may be more competitive. But here we are, we're with Maya still. And after enjoying relatively modest increases for a number of years, they're starting to jump. We're seeing jumps in the market as well. And we're also, the budget proposal, you'll see, will have us spending about 2.4 million of our free cash. So should everything be approved, we'll be down to just about $1 million in our free cash reserve. We're going to be proposing about $95,000 for the fire department. We're doing the Morgan Ave floor replacement is on our capital plan, as well as the chief had mentioned turnout gear. That paid for a portion of the gear, but he'll be requesting another $35,000 to replace the rest of the gear that's outdated. Our library is gonna be needing about $775,000 worth of repairs. We've got roof replacement around $650,000 and HVAC of about $125,000. So that's slated for this fiscal year, 2025. And then the elementary school, we're gonna be investing about $1,240,000, which includes a continuation of the roof repair program, $1 million for phase 1 of the HVAC replacement, and $90,000 for the repaving of the parking lot. And then we have, in addition to that, another roof. It's the year of the roof. We have the Lower Green Schoolhouse roof needs to be replaced as well, and that's another $100,000. So pretty significant spending for us.
100,000 for the roof on,
We'll go out to bid, but that's the
Yeah.
estimate. Yep, they've had someone out for an estimate.
Is that wood shingles?
I don't believe so, no.
Sounds-
It's a material that will be
no, I think they're asphalt
actually,
shingles.
It sounds like, it sounds like,
Yeah,
it'll
but
come
it
back,
will
it sounds like a lot. you know,
That's
so-
That sounds-
certainly,
Yeah.
it will look historically accurate.
I'm questioning it because I'm looking at a roof of the size of my house and a roof the size of the schoolhouse and coming in probably close to the same dollar amount, so, you know, it would be lovely if people just went down and said, hey, let's all just chip in and put a new roof on it.
Well, curiously enough, the DPW director had tried to apply for a grant for replacement, because there's Mass Historic has a lot of opportunities for grant funding, but that is not on the register. So that's something,
Even at a wood roof, it shouldn't come in with that kind of.
It'll go out to bid.
yeah, but that's the estimate at this point in time. And our Triton assessment is increasing as much as, again, we're in the preliminary phase of review and evaluation, as much as $883,000 this year, almost 8%. And what's happening, there's kind of two things happening. We've been discussing for many years how the state is contributing less and less, and as a result of that, the member communities have to pick up more of the funding. And the second part is our perceived ability to pay, if you will. What's happened this year is our minimum contribution, so the two-step formula that we've heard about over and over, you know, first step is minimum contribution, second step is per pupil. The minimum contribution, Newbury's share, has gone up over $500,000 this year. And that's a direct result of property values and incomes in the community. That's a formula that's determined by DESE, DOR, So as the incomes rise, as the property values rise, we're gonna see our minimum contribution numbers rise as well. So with the preliminary budgets that have been submitted by both the municipal managers as well as scenario one, what you saw identified in the DCC meeting as scenario one for the Triton budget, that would in all likelihood force us into a pretty significant override, somewhere around $500,000, $460,000 to $500,000.
Yeah, what are we in, like at 7.58% or?
Yeah, that would be, absent making any cuts, just what's been presented. Understanding clearly that there isn't much appetite for an override proposal. I've been engaged in many conversations with the superintendent, school committee members, finance committee members, department managers, to try and understand what our options are and how we can address this, and take the best possible approach to address it. So through a number of adjustments, including not funding budget requests, pushing revenue projections out a bit, and considering Triton's budget scenario number 3 that was identified at the DCC, and then allocating. So we use that 50-50 split model. I don't know if the newer people are aware of that. So we calculate what new revenues are, and in an effort to make sure that our education spending remains at least 50% of our operating budget, we kind of take new revenues, we split it in half, we say, all right, municipal expenditures get this amount, educational funding gets this amount. Anything beyond that, you move towards an override scenario. If we take our new revenues and commit an additional $258,000 over that 50-50 split, again, using scenario 3, not scenario 1, we should be able to balance our budget and avoid an override. So, I don't know, I know Rowley has communicated their preference with the school committee. I didn't know if Newbury would want to provide a letter as well, if that's something the board would like to do.
Didn't go over with great pleasure as far as the Rowley submittal. But, money always makes people cranky.
I think for me, and it's hard, but it was kind of, it would be easy for the school to go up every year because inflation and every other reason, and it's a big budget. And even at that size budget, if it went up and it kept up with inflation, we could be looking at 2.5, we could be looking at increases on a yearly level. And what scares me is we're also looking on the debt exclusion, on the maintenance and capital side, we're looking at, it doesn't seem that Triton's going to be able to go for a new school for 10 years. They're gonna have to make some repairs, especially to that one main roof. And was that the $11 million roof? And Whittier is gonna certainly have something to say next year about where they stand and what they have to repair. I would like to get some of those facts and figures on the table before we really start to throw our weight around and try to do a lot of stuff, because I don't wanna become a town that every time something happens, people want to go to the override side, or they want to do this, or they want to do that, because it would be, we don't have industry, and we don't have a commercial tax base. It would be on the backs of the taxpayers.
Beyond, the regular real estate property taxpayers.
So and probably Leslie and I are talking a little because we're on the DCC.
And it's been really in-depth what we're gonna see as far as monies are concerned in the next few years. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be very difficult.
Well, it's not easy for them,
No.
or us, or anyone, so. I mean, listen to Tracy, I certainly think, according to how everyone feels today, Triton should know where we stand. They should have an idea of what we recommend or hope for. I mean, I haven't been able to say too much, and neither has Leslie at the DCC. I mean, I talked a little bit about cost per student and other things, because we're waiting for, the budget to get done and know where we stood and all these other things, so.
Well, what was the scenarios? The cost per student is somewhere in the vicinity of $120,000 annual.
The chart is out there, and I dug in and found it, but it's only up to like 2022. I mean, I want Bill and Dana to ask some questions too. It sounds like we're in a bit of a tropic cascade, and it would be best for us if they took option 3, if we took and asked them to take option 3.
Yeah,
And it's on the table, I don't know what it would do it, and that's where the bargaining starts, I suppose, So,
The green block,
excuse me.
the green block,
the blue block.
the blue block.
Who's what?
Yeah, it's really conundrum what's going on with and to be able to balance both sides is gonna be really difficult. So sorry for the long interruption.
No, I think Newbury's always made a commitment to education funding, and that's why we always wanna make sure that we do exactly what you say, balance it. Right from the get-go, once we estimate revenues, we commit those revenues to education funding, so.
And I think we've been exposed a little to, what happened to Whittier, and Brian and the school committee have certainly kept open communication, so I think that probably letting them know where we stand as far as finances this year is important to them too.
And not to say,
Any
Tracy, you've done it, you have done an excellent job. But the rest of the world is out to lunch.
Our resources are just finite. I mean, we'd like to fund them all. All the requests are, grounded in reality, therefore they have merit, but we just don't have the ability to support them all.
It sounds kind of important to me that we need to at least do what Jeff suggested and indicate to the school committee and to Triton what our preference would be, like Rowley did.
I just, if I may interject, the option 3, does option 3 seem like a realistic, like the preliminary numbers that you just spoke about, are those available yet, or is that gonna be a little while, or?
They're on the website.
I mean, both our numbers and their numbers are.
I can't complete my budget document until the school
Right,
committee.
right, well, yeah, I guess I wasn't asking for a,
Yeah.
I mean, I know what you,
And
I'm not asking for like a completion, but so I can wrap my head around this. Without, I can't,
Sure.
cause I think, did you say that,
Sorry.
that their budget is going up by $800,000, Triton's? Is that option 1?
That's option 1. They presented at the DCC meeting the other evening,
I think they're voting,
Spreadsheet
are they voting
for-
tonight?
And I just want to clarify something, and you said our share this year is
No,
gonna be
it's tomorrow night.
$500,000?
No, it's good. Well, again, it depends on which
The
scenario.
increase, I wanna say the increase of our share.
In scenario 1, the increase would be over 800,000, 880. Oh, do you have, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Scenario 1, that would be the Newbury
the
increase.
final budget vote is gonna be March 13th.
Yeah,
School committees,
They're meeting tonight,
Is
though.
meeting tonight.
And they'll-
The school committee
they'll
meets
pass, yeah.
tonight.
and they will vote for one of these budget scenarios.
As a tentative budget.
Tentative budget,
Yeah,
okay.
it's not finalized.
So my next comment is, if we write the letter, you know, say, advertising that, we're in favor of option 3, does that quasi commit us to approving option 3? Like, what does that mean exactly?
I would say so. I would say you're signaling them that you're in support of option 3.
That's what we'd like to see.
But I think if I'm not mistaken, from what you described, if option 3 was the acceptable option to Rowley and to us, you would have the wherewithal to avoid the O word, an override.
Correct.
And right now, I think that, I suspect there's not much of an appetite for an override in this town.
I don't believe so.
I don't either.
It's funny though, guys, and I don't wanna be you're gonna, there'll be one, on the horizon. So, it's just gonna be, if the budgets, we have rent here in town hall, we have unions, we have school budgets, we will get there will be a time when Tracy can't balance the budget.
That time might come, but for the moment.
It might come next year.
Or the year after, but
For this
you're gonna
budget
see-
period, for the moment in this budget period.
Well, I think in the presidential cycle right now with the voting, nobody is pro amping up getting any more monies out onto the table. So I think you're right, like next year will probably be more feasible.
And I think it's Leslie important to know what our other commitment's gonna be for other costs to maintain Whittier and Triton itself too. That'll enter into a lot of, if it's an $11 million capital expense, what's Whittier gonna ask for? If they're not gonna get, it's gonna be, as you heard Brian say, it's gonna be a decade for the schools. Be able to maybe go for new schools, so they're gonna have to fix some things, it's just the way it is.
Yeah. Whittier has a huge path to pave at this point in time.
But we don't expect to see any of those costs this year, in
No,
2025.
But I bet you
But
see,
then-
I bet you see some next year.
But
Might be my job. It
recommendation,
might be my job.
to sit in on a couple of these because they're incredibly enlightening as far as how it is
These-
so eloquently explained.
These being what, DCC meetings?
Yeah,
We're kind of limited to just the two of you.
well, there is another subcommittee coming up and they're looking for a liaison.
You know what, the
And
subcommittee,
I don't think either
the
Jeff or I
subcommittee's
consider,
gonna be,
and it's not a voting thing, but it's something that you can sit in on and report back to the board.
Leslie, the subcommittees, and I could be corrected, and Tracy might have language, but the subcommittee's really gonna be, I believe, more involved in what Triton's gonna need for
They
their
are.
upgrades within the structure of the
It's a-
actual plant and buildings.
Building committee.
I think they want I think they want the town administrators or someone else on that even, I don't even think it's gonna be
I
us.
think Rowley is a member of the select board serving and Salisbury is the
Neil?
town manager.
Yeah, so I mean,
They
that's
did want you to appoint someone ASAP.
tonight
Yeah.
It
even?
would be great if you could. They're
Okay.
waiting for us.
Well, we can also wait till Alicia's back too, if you want, or should we do it right
Well,
on?
they have a meeting scheduled already, so. we
Yeah.
can make that
That's,
meeting.
that's kind of what,
But it's more,
Linda was
if-
hinting at.
I
the
have a
other day.
feeling Triton doesn't wanna come up with big surprises like Whittier did. So if they wanna make it inclusive and make everyone understand where they're going and how they're gonna do it. And I applaud them for that.
Yeah, but like Jeff and I weren't really sure if either one of us could sit in on one of these subcommittees since we're on the DCC, so, you know, would it be an overlap?
Well, I almost think it's, Tracy's gonna kill me because she's so busy anyway, but I like the idea of the town administrator, but that's neither here nor there, we can discuss that. Let's do what we wanna do on this, guys. And Bill, can see where Dana stands, where Bill stands, I know where I stand, see where Leslie stands, so on the letter.
Want a
Dana.
motion on that?
Let's make the motion to,
And then discuss.
and then,
Submit.
and, yes, let's make a motion to give Tracy the authorization to draft a letter that we can submit. We can have discussion and then we can have a vote.
Motion to ask Tracy to write a letter letting Brian and the school committee know what we wish for as option 3 because of where we are with our budgets.
Second. Motion
Okay.
to approve, yeah.
With discussion. That would be consistent with what Rowley did,
Except it's probably gonna be,
a little milder than
Yeah.
what Rowley wrote. Okay, and at least it gives, this is my feeling, it gives the school committee, the Triton School Committee and Triton what we would like to see happen.
Yep.
I mean, it certainly has an impact on Newbury, but it avoids an override. And there are things that can be done with the budget to make things work out.
and I think that's
This
well
year,
said.
this budget, what happens next year, we don't know what those scenarios are.
I think it's well stated.
Deal with them then.
Bill, and I think also it is us almost giving Leslie and I direction now that the DC, now we've got the board, we know where everyone stands and we have all the information, and I can say, or Leslie can say, Jesus, we'd really like 3, or,
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Where it was hard
instead of
before.
saying, you know, at the next, we'll go back to the board, have a discussion, and then get back to you on that, so we can have more of an immediate answer,
Well, see, now we have it. Before, it was hard for us to ask for that.
right?
I think that's a good thing to have.
Yep.
And to give you the ability, both of you to speak like that. Dana, what are your thoughts?
I certainly think that you should be comfortable knowing that we're all on the same page. And I appreciate you even talking about it in that respect. And I think the letter should be written.
Okay. And this is the most discussion I've heard about DCC since I've been sitting on this board. Other than I attended the DCC meeting, this is a lot of content and I appreciate it.
What they're facing as all school districts at this point in time, what they're facing is the fact that a lot of monies that come from the state annually has been taken away from them. And so now they have to be a lot more creative and more diligent on how they prepare the budget.
That's true, and also I think the state could be prodded to get back, Tracy has a pretty significant graph of the state funds going like this and the municipality funds going like that, okay?
And that's because we can pay.
That was provided by the district, but
That's
I
good.
think it's good.
Yeah.
It's a great
It is-
chart.
It is a great job.
What's happening.
It clearly shows what the state is not doing and what the municipalities are doing.
And one thing on our side, and I'm not saying that anyone else is, but we didn't build a new town hall. We didn't build a new fire it's not like we've run around and spent money like drunken sailors, we're pretty conservative.
Okay, any more discussion
On the letter, we're voting
on the letter? This
That's
motion is on the letter. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So be it.
Okay. The title research on Maple Street has been completed. So Mead, Tellman, and Costa has determined that Maple Street is not a public way. That determination was based on settled law that there are only 4 ways that a street can become a public way: by acceptance, by dedication, by prescription, or laid out by a public authority. None of those things happened. There was no documentation that could prove that any of those occurred. So they based their opinion on information that was provided by town officials in the assessor's office and the planner's office. Also, all the research that was done at the Essex South Registry of Deeds. And then there was additional documentation that was provided by Newbury citizens. Now, in the event that someone has that particular paper that shows otherwise, they said, provide it, bring it into the town, they'll review it, but nothing was found to make them change their opinion that it is not a public way.
I gotta play a little stupid, where are we on this?
Maple Street.
Maple Street, new.
Off of Orchard.
Okay, I understand now.
Yeah.
Is that,
So
don't
it's,
we have another Maple Street in town too? No?
We have a Maple Ave.
What's over by, what's over?
Terrace.
What's over by the school, Maple
Yeah,
Terrace, yeah,
that's-
good, that's what I was thinking when I'm saying,
Yeah.
what? Now I understand, I
so
forgot.
that they don't have to fall into the compliance of anything that the town can provide for them.
So we don't maintain
We
it,
don't have
we
to do
don't plow
anything.
it, we don't,
It's all on
Right.
their shoulders,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
and they have been doing that for many years.
So it's considered private property
I
and.
didn't say that, I said it's not a public way, there is
Okay.
a difference. So there was also nothing found to determine that it's privately owned. So we don't.
Because that's question number 2.
Correct, yeah, and that would be up to the property owner to prove to us
That the
she owns
deeds
it.
is only in, but it's not showing that way,
Right,
okay.
yep. Good distinction, I'm glad you brought that up. We are going to be welcoming a new conservation agent. Mr. Sean Young will be joining our team on February 20th, finally. And he's worked with the Commonwealth of Mass Division of Marine Fisheries, performing environmental reviews. He's also interned with the Department of the Interior, U.S. Geological Survey. He's, curiously enough, he's also a licensed electrician, a firefighter, and he does snow plowing. I'm like, what? So he's got some great qualifications we may be able to take advantage of.
Can the COMCOM guy be a calls?
It's funny, when the community where I worked before, we had DPW guys that were called firefighters and the like, so yeah, there's nothing to prohibit that, but.
So you're gonna have to hang an additional rack out in the hallway
Sure.
with different hats on it.
Sure, we all wear multiple hats, why not, right? We also got some good news, we received a $200,000 grant award from the State Fiscal Recovery Fund for the Orchard Street Culvert Project, so that was great news. And I probably need a vote of the board to accept that came in after the agenda was posted.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
And that's all I have, Mr. Vice Chair.
thank you very much.
Bill, can I ask a question?
Sure. I'm sorry.
Did we ever do, and I could be wrong, did we ever do anything to remedy the flapper on Plum Island?
The what?
There's a flapper on an outfall on Plum Island, or am I dreaming that? Wasn't there gonna be a repair on something or put a flapper on, so that maybe we remediate some of the flooding?
So there was some work done, I don't remember the name of the street. It's Bob Street,
No, this is more down towards the center of town.
the one parallel to Annapolis.
Oh, that, I can remember that.
That was taken care
Yeah.
of, but no, I'm
I
not
thought there
aware
was
of
something
anything
that,
else.
you know, so, all right, then maybe it's coming from some of the work I do in other places. And I'll look it up and see if there was talk at another level of maybe trying to
It may not have
stop
made
the
it to
flooding,
me
yeah.
yet.
I'll try to find out
Yeah,
where I get it from.
Okay. There wasn't any correspondence in the package. Meeting updates. Where's meeting updates?
Leslie, we don't know how much we got left.
I know, I think Jeff and I have discussed all the DCC's updates. I wasn't able to attend the ad hoc meeting, but I did watch it and I could see that some of the directions that they're trying to go in and for instance, that comes to mind is to put together a COA and a community center so that they can, round it out to more people in the community and have it be more self-resilient. I think it was keep it open the 4 days for the COA and then use the other time to earn money to help pay for it, as far as renting it out to corporations for meetings and things of that nature.
We'll have to come up here and explain what they're, Damon will have to come up here and explain what's going on, I think, at some point in time, report out.
Yeah.
It sounds, it's kind of a hybrid situation that they're talking about, but I don't know much about it.
Yeah, it's evolving. They've gone in and inspected the Newburyport and the Amesbury COA facilities, which they're completely out of our league. So
Which one's Amesbury and
Newburyport,
Newburyport's a city, and they have lots of.
both of them are cities.
Yeah, both of them are cities, so there's a lot of,
So, what is it? Anything that's over 14,000 in, as far as population, it falls into a city category. But they're both cities, and I think that, they fall into a completely different realm than we can even think about.
let them hash that all out.
Yeah.
Let them hash that out.
Went to Essex Veterans last week. That was supposed to be our budget week. And Steve is kind of, like I was explaining to you, he's trying to keep his head above water with all the things that he has to do. And we did schedule, we're having a special meeting on the 29th. Hopefully that will complete their budget so that you can get those numbers. And just from my standpoint, I would be going towards an option 3 with that budget also, because I do know that last year, we did very well for them and it worked out good, and I know that he knows where we all stand, and I'm just hoping that we can work that out too. So hopefully by the end of the month, we'll have that budget completed.
And I also watched the cultural committee, and 4 out of the 6 that are there, they're terming out. So just to be aware of the fact that, we'll be losing like 4 people.
We'll add that to the website.
Yeah.
People who are interested.
And because the Newbury Town Day is a new committee, it might be a good idea to put a description of what everybody is looking for as far as what the commitment will be. Cause it just says Newbury Town Day and then nobody has a clue to what, like under the volunteerism, that they don't know what is expected of them.
So we could lose like 4 of the people that were working on the town day?
We've lost everybody.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Right.
Because it went from like a private into a town. And it's Art and Robin will be the only 2 that aren't terming out, and then the other 4, and there's seats that are still open. So, we'll see what happens with that. But it would be counterintuitive to let that go to the wayside. And I didn't see a lot of people that were saying, oh, I'm gonna sign back up again for that. So, with like the different opportunities that are out there to keep them all filled up. But my suggestion is, just like under job opportunities that have a pay scale to them and things of that nature, to include that into the volunteer so that people can understand, exactly what it's about instead of just reading. Because there's basically no information when you go on to it after that. You don't have a clue to what's going on.
Vice Chair. I
Okay.
did have one other,
Yes.
actually two other updates I forgot to mention. The Green Communities designation application was submitted. That is currently under review and we're hoping to hear from them by the end of this month. And the Plum Island bathroom project is on the home stretch and barring too many more snowstorms, should be completed by early April. And you're all welcome to take a tour. I understand you've been there already.
Yes,
Yes.
it was great. It really was, you know, you can listen to this, that, and the other thing, but, you know, having gone through it and seeing that there really was no damage and they
What,
had.
did flood, did it made the flood?
It didn't flood.
It
No
did
flood?
not
No.
a drop, no, it looked great, and, you know, they're vying for, open for business by Memorial Day weekend.
That's the
Is
plan.
That's a good way of stating it.
That's the plan.
Open for business.
Open for business, but it looks
that-
great.
Yes, sorry.
It looks great. There were some concerns that had been posted on social media that could have been mistaken for damage that had been done to the building through the past couple of storms, but it was, they were things that were already on the books prior to that with, you know, like
Oh, the cracks.
the cracks and stuff, and, you know, and it was really a good experience. It was very positive experience.
I mean, that's good to hear, because they say that storm was the equal of what occurred in the blizzard of '78.
Yep,
I mean, up towards Ryan, I mean, the coast got hammered.
well, thankfully that the storm that they were predicting for today went in the other direction, because they were talking about close to 15 feet swells of, you know, tidal surges, so We
Salisbury,
did-
Salisbury.
new
of the-
report to Portsmouth.
Yeah, because of the MRBA, Salisbury's got some houses that are in jeopardy too.
But anybody, you know, if you have the opportunity, if you see that anybody's working down there, but they're almost to completion, go and knock on the door, just open it up and you'll get, you
Good
can
to
go
hear.
in and see it
I'm looking
and,
forward to the tour in a couple.
yeah,
weeks.
and the
Can
other
we take
thing,
the COA van down there?
and the other thing,
What'd
if
you say?
anybody
What'd
wants
you
to.
say, Dan? Get-
Bring your walker with you.
COA van now.
COA van. Yeah, we went out on the ride, that was fun. It's a great van.
It is.
And the other thing that, if anybody wants to go and see it, the new building for the naturalist building on the governor's property is complete, and you can go and, you know, make an appointment and go down and go see
They had
that.
an open house, I think, already, so
They, yeah, we can just call up and.
it's good, that's really good.
Yeah,
All right, how about draft meeting minutes, January 23rd, 2024? You have a motion to accept them?
motion to accept.
Second,
Second,
any discussion of the minutes? None?
None.
All in favor of accepting? Aye.
Bill, we do have a hand raised, which is rather atypical.
Thank you for the acknowledgement. If
Well, I can't acknowledge.
This
it
is,
as chair.
yeah, this is not typical that we do this, that's why at the beginning we asked if there were citizen comments or citizen concerns.
Okay, I wasn't aware. Gentleman in the back.
It's a business license,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Business licenses.
Oh, are they on the
There
agenda?
are no
tonight?
business licenses on the agenda.
Yeah, Gretchen told us to be here for today. I was trying to intervene and try
I
to
told you
backtrack.
Gretchen.
Gretchen?
The town clerk?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
let's-
sorry, but
They-
we don't have them to act on, and they're not on the agenda. If she told you that, it was not correct information, I'm afraid.
Put a call into her tomorrow morning and make sure that it gets onto our next agenda, which is 2 weeks from today.
Okay, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
And
Sorry you had to
Sorry.
wait here for all this time, but,
No, that's all right. I should have asked sooner.
you also,
Nice to meet you. That's all you, Sue?
Same boat, yeah.
you know, that doesn't happen a lot, so.
No,
No.
this is the first time I've
Are
ever
you,
seen it.
are you two guys, is everyone gonna be able to go to the next, Bill, can I talk?
sure.
Is it, are you gonna have time to wait till our next meeting, which is,
To
what-
get your business up and going.
is it, so you're not time sensitive, cause we'll take it?
I like,
27, it's February 27th, I think.
We're open the auto repair business. Oh, I'm the owner of Car Nova. It's
Oh,
the,
you oughta, do you want them up, or?
No, I don't think it's appropriate to really pursue it, but what you need to do is talk to Gretchen, make sure your paperwork is in place correctly, and be prepared to be here on the next meeting of the select board, which I think is February 27th.
Correct.
Okay?
I
And
can-
apologies for tonight.
Do you
but
have an existing license right now?
yeah, they approved
Yeah.
everything already. They just
So
told us
we-
to be here for today.
They should be okay for, since it didn't get on our agenda can we make an allowance to let them do business for the next 2
I
weeks?
think they already have existing licenses, they were set to renew.
No, I don't have an existing license. Mine just got approved.
Oh, no, I
Okay.
wouldn't advise them.
No,
No,
anyway.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, apologies, our apologies.
And what is your business?
Sorry, I have a little cold. We just acquired, well, we will be at tomorrow morning, Bob Lobster, so we are transferring.
Oh, you gotta get
Oh,
that taken care of, Bill.
Okay,
We need our lobster rolls.
okay, good deal.
What,
Hoping to open for the season right away. So that's why we maybe preemptively came here.
All right,
That's what
sorry,
we're told.
sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, we're excited.
So we accepted meeting minutes.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much. It was very
Apologies.
informative, so thank you.
Okay, we have many warrants to accept tonight. The motion to approve warrants.
So moved.
yep, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No executive session. I'll make the motion to adjourn. Second, all in favor of adjourning?
Aye,
Aye.
that's just for Bill, this one?
Yep, the top one, okay.